Wait a minute. Is that? Wait, zoom in. Closer. 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 Oh my god. It is. It's male pattern baldness. TM. All rights reserved. Thank God I always keep a spare keeps launcher. Did you know that 2 out of 3 guys will experience some form of male pattern baldness by the time they're 35? Well, that is what my sponsor Keeps is designed to stop. You see, prevention is #1 when it comes to stopping male pattern baldness, and Keeps is designed to be an affordable option to do just that. And naturally, I think all of us could use a little Keeps launcher in our lives. So if you're ready to prevent any issue of male pattern baldness, or you want to get started right now because you're seeing a couple signs, go ahead and go to keeps.com/Bricky to receive 50% off your first order. Thank you very much for sponsoring this video, and let us get on with said video. Hello everybody, my name is Bricky, currently chuckling like an idiot to some of these AI lines. Halo Infinite is not fully released yet, we only have the multiplayer, so I will be making a follow-up video regarding the campaign in the near future, but until then, I did want to talk about this multiplayer. Because Halo campaigns have been pretty stellar. Get away. But its multiplayer is where the major hours are sunk into. But it's a rabbit hole I've always been completely fine to travel down into, and this is really the time for the king to return. Call of Duty Vanguard's a complete flop, Battlefield barely functions. This is the time and the year to bring back the old school days of Halo supremacy. And when it comes to the gameplay, oh, the king has absolutely returned. So Halo is a physics-based sandbox, which means a lot of the game's gameplay revolves around the idea that objects will move like, well, they would move with real physics. If I hit an enemy by running into them with a warthog, that speed and force will kill them. If I throw a grenade at a mongoose, it might flip the mongoose over. It's that kind of sandbox, and that is what makes Halo such a joy to play sometimes, because it's rather funny being launched across the map thanks to getting hit by a grenade, or getting smacked by a gravity hammer and watching your vehicle do a ton of spins, or perhaps something simple like throwing a fusion coil at somebody's head. All these things make the game really funny, along with its normal gameplay features. It's got this silliness that it captures really well, and it makes it a lot more endearing when you die and not as aggravating. Halo is also one of my favorite FPS games because of its very slow time to kill. I'm normally not a big fan of fast time to kills in games, why I never really got super deep into Rainbow Six or Counter-Strike, for example. But with a longer time to kill, I feel like, and I mean, I'm sure R6 and CSGO people will hate me for this, but I feel like it takes a bit more skill to be really good at Halo, because it takes so much longer to kill them, so you either need to be way better with your shots or know all the other facets of the map, the weapons, the things like grenade bank shots, stuff like that. Gun skill matters, aim matters, but positioning, knowing terrain, knowing the weapon pickup spots and the timers, all of that feeds into it. In Call of Duty, gun skill does matter, but at the same time, if you turn the corner and see 3 enemies there, you could probably gun them all down without any real worries. In Halo, you're not going to be 3v1ing, at least not just through gun skill alone. If you want to win a 3v1, you need to have more than aim. You need to be really good at the other facets of Halo. But this also means that being caught out of position is not a death sentence. That's one of the reasons why this game is a lot more friendly to new or casual players, because if I am out in the open and I get shot by a battle rifle, I can move away. Now, the real skill of the game comes with how you follow that up. Does the first player chase you down, lob grenades at you, use the grapple shot? How do they follow up their initial attack, and how do you respond to it? More often than not, I've had plenty of Halo games where I took fire first, and then by good timing and knowing a good spot, I could throw a grenade, hit the wall, bounce it underneath their feet, get rid of their shields, and one-tap them in the head. This kind of gameplay has always been the way Halo's felt, and to me, I feel like pro Halo players are really in the upper echelon of FPS people. Halo just has so much more depth to it that's so much more important than just good gun skill. In COD, you need really good aim, CSGO and R6 is map knowledge, and Apex, for example, is weapon drops and positioning. Well, that is a huge oversimplification because obviously there's a lot more involved to being good at those games, and I obviously don't want to downplay the professional players of those. I do have this feeling that Halo combines all those facets of FPS games and merges them just seamlessly. It's a blend that has kept this game so popular for over 20 years. And if you fought really good Halo players, you know what it's like to be on the receiving end of people who know what they're doing. So we're beginning a match in Halo Infinite. You got two choices, classic 4v4 or big team battle, which is now 12v12. Halo sports many game modes. Slayer, which is like deathmatch, oddball, capture the flag, domination, total control, this new stockpile thing, tons of different game modes, and you will be given one of those when you jump into these two things, which is, we'll talk about that later. Now, Halo's never been about loadouts. Shoot. Normally, everybody starts with the exact same weapons, and you can change it up by using the weapon drops on the field. Generally, it's assault rifle and a pistol. However, if you want to pick something else up, there are little weapon spawns across the map, and those will be things like the battle rifle, the commando, the needler, ravager, etc. And then there are power weapon drops that you can fight over with the enemy team placed around the map. And this is one of the reasons why Halo has always felt really balanced as a game. Now, there are some outliers, looking at you reach with your armor lock at DMR, but overall, you're all on the same playing field when you start. But the weapons you find on the field generally are used to replace one of your main weapons for a different kind of atmosphere. The assault rifle is a wonderful all-around weapon, great for close and mid-range. However, you could swap for the battle rifle, which is a bit better at medium and long range, but takes a lot more skill to get close range kills with. Commando has a bit more precision, but it's a little harder to use. Needler is good for that short to mid, but you gotta worry about the tracking. There's all these different options that you have at your disposal, but they all are kind of on the same level. It's like all those guns are rated 8 out of 10, but they're just 8 out of 10 in different scenarios. I generally would pick a battle rifle over an assault rifle, but if I'm playing a really tight-knit 4v4, I might just keep the AR. But then though, you have power weapons, and power weapons drop on the field in select areas, and these are miles better than regular weapons in the game, but that's kind of the point. Power weapons are things that have a long timer. They are either being grabbed by your teammates or the enemy team, and these weapons also are, while flatly better, normally lower on ammo. A sniper rifle can one-tap you to the head or break your shields to the body, but it's only got 8 shots and a 4-round magazine. The skewer can one-tap you, but you only have around 4 ammo or something, and even then, it's one tap and then you gotta reload the damn thing, and honestly, it's actually a little hard to shoot sometimes. Rocket launcher only has 4 shots, etc. Power weapons will always be better than regular weapons, but that's the point, because you're fighting over them with the enemy team. So if you get there, you've either killed a lot of people to get there, so you deserve it, or you were able to outplay them with your map knowledge or knowledge on weapon spawn timers, all that kind of stuff. It's basically, I got here first, I get to be OP for a few seconds, and then we return back to normal. I can never really get mad if I die to a sniper, a skewer, or a rocket because, well, I did die to it, but I'm not gonna die to it again, probably for a long time. This is the same thing for vehicles. You have your Warthog and your Mongoose, and you know, you have the Virgin Gunner who waits for a driver and the Chad Wheelman driver, but they're not super crazy powerful. They're just there and you can use them if you'd like, but as time goes on, at least in big team battle, they will drop different vehicles for you to use. Banshees, Wasps, the giant Scorpion tank, and then again, the Scorpion tank versus one Spartan. Yeah, the tank wins, but you have your time of fun, the tank dies, and then you're back to normal. This feeling of a long time to kill, this physics-based sandbox, and the way power weapons and power vehicles spawn makes this game just flow like water. You never feel horribly awful when you get killed by anything too strong because it's so rare, and it's just that little like 1 minute of fun before you all go back to normal. There's no class or hero, like in a hero shooter that's way too overpowered. It's everyone on the same playing field, and it's all about how good you are at the other facets of Halo. Unless I have a power weapon, I don't win because I have a better gun. I win because I know Halo better. So you've got a game that feels amazing for the great players. You've got a game that's more forgiving and fun and kind of silly for the casual players. And now you have this blend of just incredible gameplay that brings me back to the Halo 3, Halo Reach nostalgia days. Halo Infinite's gameplay is fucking great. It is insane how good this is. Everything down to the minutia, even the sound effects. And I mean, sound effects play a big part, but even the smaller, less important sound effects. You know, you might look at, say, the sniper rifle or the skewer and think, damn, that's chunky. That sounds good. But then there's the smaller stuff, like just listening to your shields regen, so nostalgic. And honestly, this game might have one of my favorite enemy killed sound effects in games besides World at War's headshot sound effect. It's just so crisp. It's so obvious, so you know when you got that kill. The announcer is still here, at least for the smaller games, and he sounds wonderful. And then the greatest idea 343 has ever had, the personal AI. The personal AI is genius, absolutely genius. 1, because it's very funny. 2, because it gives you even more customization. And 3, because you can market the shit out of that. Remember Call of Duty Ghosts? Remember Snoop Dogg announcer? Can you imagine that with your little personal AI? A famous actor or actress, or you can get someone from the community even, who knows? And you can make them a little AI that you can buy and run around. It is genius. Genius. And it's very Halo, Master Chief and Cortana. Now it's you with your AI. Absolutely genius. And I play Halo on controller, and it feels generally pretty fair between the two. I find mouse and keyboard to be way more pinpoint, of course, and better at long ranges, but I find the controller to be better for me at short ranges. And honestly, I don't really ever feel like I'm getting destroyed because others are using a controller or a mouse and keyboard. I really just can't tell, and I'm totally fine with it. Also, the game has a wonderful options menu. There's so many options, both for controller and mouse and keyboard. If I had any real issues with the gameplay, I'd say that maybe some weapons don't sound quite good enough. The shock rifle sounds a little bit less powerful. It could use a bit more wubs. And the maps feel pretty samey. Halo 3 especially had a wonderful color palette of maps, so many different locales and variety, from the Pit to Guardian, Rat's Nest, Sandtrap, Valhalla. There's so many different feels to it. These maps feel really samey, honestly. I could use a bit more color and a bit more variety. But honestly, when it comes to the gameplay of Halo Infinite, it is beautiful. It is everything I have ever wished for. Then the monkey's paw curled. Let's talk progression and customization. If you've heard people talk about Halo Infinite, they probably said that the gameplay is absolutely amazing, ... but. And that's a big but. We're talking Halo Reach, community file share, 90% just close-ups of cat's ass. That level of but. Halo Infinite has one of the most limiting and mediocre customization options I have seen in a Halo game. Is that a hyperbole? Yes, Halo 1 through 3 was definitely more limiting than this, but it feels so much worse. This is compounded by an excruciatingly poor progression system, a lack of good customization in general, and a battle pass that does not feel worth it in the slightest. So Halo Infinite is a free game. This should be noted, because a free game needs to make its money somewhere, and Halo Infinite makes its money off of its store and its battle pass. The store sells cosmetics and customization. It's on like a weekly rotation or something. That's pretty par for the course. I don't buy anything from the store because I don't think it's particularly good stuff, but it's stuff there. The battle pass, of course, you purchase because there is the free and the paid version, and you can buy tiers because this is pretty normal battle pass stuff. Now, I have always been a pro battle pass person because I consider it a necessary evil for free games over loot boxes. Loot boxes, I think, are significantly worse. A battle pass, at least you know what you're getting, and it helps with the progression part, the grinding part. I'm okay with battle passes in theory, at least if your game is free. The problem is that, unlike in other Halo games, the battle pass is the only metric of progression. You do not have a level tied to your account. You do not have a rank. The only other rank you have is if you play ranked. This personal level, being a 5-star general in Halo 3 or an inheritor rank in Reach, all of that is completely gone, which means any customization linked to the experience you gain on your account is also gone. The only progression you have is linked to this battle pass. There is no personal rank, there is no icon next to your name in game, there's none of that. Now, this blow is lessened slightly because battle passes in Infinite do not go away. They will always stay, and therefore, if you miss one, you can actually swap it and put your progression into that one instead, which is a nice touch. It removes the FOMO problem. However, because there is no other incentive past that, finishing the battle pass means there's literally no reason to keep playing Halo progression-wise, and finishing it is a big if. See, unlike Halo 3, Reach, 4, 5, Master Chief Collection, you don't gain experience by just playing the game. You only gain experience through this challenge system that they've provided to you weekly and daily. Now, originally, the daily challenge was play a game. And by playing a game, you got 50 experience, and this could be repeated. It costs 1,000 experience to level up 1 Battle Pass tier. So you would have to play 20 games to level up 1 tier. The first game you play per day, mind you, is actually going to give you 300 experience. The second and third give you 200, and the fourth, fifth, and sixth give you 100, and then 7 onward is 50 again. And this is per day. Now, that's actually pretty good. I like that a lot. That is a monumental improvement to the prior one. If you did the math there, if you played 6 games, then that means you would get 1,000 experience off 6 games. That is a lot better than 20. Basically, if you only play the 6 games per day, then the grind has been reduced by, oh goodness, it's only 1/3 of what it used to be, which is incredible. I'm actually pretty hopeful because they changed this up really quickly. It did not take them long at all, and that's good because everything else is really not good. If you want to get more XP that isn't just that, you can do challenges. And challenges in their own right is perfectly fine. The problem is that these challenges are way too specific and aggravating to deal with. Now, some of these challenges are pretty simple. 5 kills with an assault rifle, easy. 5 melee kills, fine. But then you get some, like win 3 total control matches or get 10 kills with the skewer. This normally wouldn't be that bad of a deal. The problem is that this game has no playlist options. So if you want to play Total Control, you can't. You have to roll the dice and hope you get it. And sometimes this can be excruciating. I had to win 3 Total Control games and I streamed Halo Infinite for 3 hours and I got 1 game which we lost. Getting 10 kills with the skewer, for example. Not every map has the skewer. What if you just don't get the map? Get 10 kills with a needler. Easier, but not every map has a needler. You might just roll the dice and not get the needler for God knows how long. If you look at something like Destiny's bounty system, for example, while there are problems there, if I get something like kills with a solar weapon, kills with melee, kills with a hand cannon, I can do that anywhere, and all I have to do is put on that weapon. I can do whatever activity I want, I just need to change the weapon in my class. If you wanted to give me play 5 capture the flag games, fine, but give me a capture the flag playlist. Also, I should mention that the Battle Pass is full of just junk. It is full of mainly just weekly challenge swaps and a whole bunch of random color schemes that are being separated per armor. Oh yeah, that's right, customization armor. So you don't just have a Spartan anymore, you have armor sets, and therefore certain unlocks only go to those armor sets. So if I wanted to use a recon helmet on a different armor set, I can't. If I wanted to use a shoulder pad on this set and not this one, I can't. It is stifled to each certain thing, and that even includes colors. If you unlock a color for one set, that means you can't use that color for the other sets. I don't know why, but everything is its own armor set, and it's really aggravating to deal with. It means that I have no interest in playing this game past the challenges and probably past the 6th game, which it's okay, you did a pretty good job fixing that right there, but I have no reason to super grind this game, and I have no interest in winning. I get no incentive whatsoever to win. I will gladly throw games if it means I have to go pick up a damn needler and use that to get needler challenges, because I'm rewarded for that and I'm not rewarded for winning. I also don't care about playing well because there's no incentive for playing well either, so I can just kind of fuck around. A lot of people are leaving games because they're not getting the game mode they want because there's no playlist options and all these challenges are really aggravating. And because there's no personal rank, I have no interest in trying to like build up my own profile, trying to show off an inheritor rank or anything like that. There's no B. Remember my old video, how CBT can save gaming, which is casual accessibility, big dick factor, and time sink. There's no big dick factor in terms of ranking system. There might be for armor, but armor is tied to the battle pass, which is tied to money. I don't know the difference between a guy who spent all of his money to get the final bit of armor versus someone who grinded it. I did know the difference in Halo Reach because there was a guy with an inheritor rank and I said, holy shit, he's an inheritor rank. In fact, ironically, one of the most enjoyable things I have in the Battle Pass is the weekly swaps because I use them to get rid of the horrible, horrible challenges. But that's like inventing malaria and then giving out the antidote for malaria and expecting me to be happy about it. Like, I will take this antidote, but fuck you? Getting a bad reward that solves a problem that's bad doesn't make the problem any less bad. And you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna talk about Reach. I gotta talk about Reach. You know I gotta talk about Reach because Reach is the best goddamn progression system in video games. Not only does Reach have a fantastic customization system on one chassis that you can mix and match however you want it with colors, effects, voice lines even, and all the armor pierces. But the personal rank and credit grind was way more interesting and it had so much more depth. You got credits, which are basically XP, for completing a match. You got credits depending on how well you did. You got credits based on commendations, you got credits based on challenges, and then you got credits based on a slot machine. So you were, one, rewarded for attempting to win because of the game complete. You were rewarded for doing well because of your performance bonus. You were rewarded for the challenges, which is already a thing here. You got commendations, which were awesome. They were basically just, hey, do the thing you already do and get a really awesome looking banner and also get a bunch of extra credits for it. And the slot machine. You know what the slot machine was? The slot machine was a random amount of credits you got after each game, but if you consistently played full games and you didn't quit ever, you had a higher and higher chance to get a jackpot, which was a ton of credits. So you were incentivized to play well, win, do challenges, get commendations, and not quit. All of them making Halo Reach an incredibly good experience. This XP was then used to purchase new cosmetics, which I am okay with removing because Halo Infinite is a free game, and therefore you gotta make your money somewhere. But all of that was still so well done and so well realized. You also had like map voting, which I'd love map voting back. Please give me map voting back. But there isn't a single attribute that Reach does that other games can't learn from. It is such an incredibly good progression system. It feels good, it feels fluid, and everything has a point. Right now for Halo Infinite, a lovely band-aid fix for me would be, in addition to the extra XP you get for playing games, give me a 50 XP bonus for winning it. Perhaps an additional 50 for being top scorer. Just simple things like that. Make me want to win. You get the amount of XP you get for playing games, and then right beneath those, there's 2 more challenges that are repeatable, which is win a game and have high score or top score. Make them 50 XP each, give me a reason. It doesn't need to be a lot of XP, but it can be some incentive. The armor system and having the multiple armor sets just really doesn't work for me. It's really aggravating. Also, selling poses at the end of the game, I think, is a total oversight. Don't sell poses at the end of the game. Sell animations at the beginning of the game. Can you imagine how much cooler it would be than this random quick animation at the end of the game? The start of the game, you could have this really fancy animation to show off. Like, it's so much better. Everyone gets to see it. It looks better. It's good. I would definitely do that instead. I am impressed with the speed 343 is making changes to the system. The XP bonuses they're doing is very good and I like it a lot, but there's still a lot to be done. There needs to be a reason for me to want to win. There needs to be a reason for me to want to play well. There needs to be different kinds of playlists as well. These specific weekly challenges need to be toned down a little bit. And I would give me something to be personal. Some kind of XP system to be personal so I could show off a rank that I've reached or something like that. Hell, even Destiny has this with like the season pass level. It's not perfect, but it's something. It's just mind-boggling how you pulled off the hard part. You pulled off the gameplay, the balance, the feel. I've had almost no bugs of any kind. You did it. You did the hard part. You did it. And you fucked up the easy part. Luckily, the easy part can be fixed quickly and you're already on the right track. Just keep it up. We need a little bit more, get some better options in the battle pass, maybe streamline the armor system a little bit. And then we're gonna have like a top 5 shooter right here. You're so close. Just need a little more. Thank you everyone for watching very much. To all my YouTube members and my patrons, your names are up on the screen. I really appreciate you supporting me, especially during the end of the year, which, you know, I know money's tight. And if money's ever too tight, you know, you can cancel your subscription or your Patreon. It's totally fine. You know, your life is a little more important, I'd say. So, you know, do what you gotta do. But until then, let's answer some questions. Are we ever gonna get the BO8 Gamer Sup Shaker? I'm working on it. I'm working on it. The move made it a little tough at the time. And obviously there's a lot of other people who are a lot bigger than me that have priority, but don't worry, I'm trying. Best and worst kinds of bread. Worst kind of bread, I don't know about worst kinds of bread. Bread's pretty good, but a good ciabatta is top tier. Best worst. You know, I don't really have a lot of bratwurst and stuff, but a shout out to my Polish sausage at Costco. Shout out to you, my man. All right, thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you next time.